Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. First order of business, thank you so much. I have reached 1,000 subscribers now, and I cannot thank you enough. This YouTube channel has been a hobby for me, but I appreciate that you are here for the ride, that you're interested in the same things that I like to talk about, and that you are participating, and we are plumbing some cases, some missing persons cases, and just, I'm like gobsmacked. I don't even know what to say. But what I can do is offer a giveaway, and that's what I promised. So here's the rules, guys. Here's the rules. Number one, I need you to be in the US, Canada, or the EU for this giveaway. We'll have other giveaways, and you know what? The giveaways will get better and better and better. But for the first giveaway, you need to be either in the US, in Canada, or the EU. Okay? You need to leave one comment, was just the one, in the comment section of this video saying, I want blank. And the blank will be the piece that I pick up and show you that you like. So decide the one you like the best and say, I want blank. And I will pick one person from the comment section, and that person will get the item. Some of these items have been framed. They won't be framed, okay? I don't have enough money to send them framed, all right? So some of these have been framed, some of them have been shown in galleries. And if they have, I may send you the gallery card that went with them. And that's how we're gonna play this. So keep in mind, if you say, I want blank, I'm gonna email you and you're gonna email me, all right? So we're gonna have an email communication, and you're gonna have to give me your address so I can mail it. If you just like things and want to say, hey, Theolyn, congratulations, then don't put I want blank, because I don't, want someone to miss out on getting something they really want if you can't take a package at your residence, or you don't want to give your email to me. Some people are totally protective of their email, which I totally understand, and some people are totally protective of their address, which I understand. So if you're that person, thank you for being here. And let's open it up for someone who can have this item or one of these items delivered to them. So first thing, I've said thanks. I've given you the parameters for the giveaway. 1, in the US, Canada, or UK. Okay. 2, say I want blank and decide which one you like the best. Just leave one message. And 3, we'll communicate with each other. All right? Having said that, let's talk about YouTube, right? Let's talk about the genesis of this channel. The genesis of this channel is I wanted to see what it was like. I wanted to have it as a hobby. I have a lot of hobbies. My first degree is in art. My second degree is in legal studies. I had also a certificate, a paralegal certificate from a college that then did away with it, then brought it back. It's a whole thing. And then I also went to law school. I decided not to complete law school due to anxiety and other reasons. By the way, law school is not difficult. By the time, if you've done well in the LSATs and all that, and you want to go to law school, do it. It's not hard. It's just expensive. But if you do well in the LSATs, they send, especially if you're female, they're going to they'll see your scores if you allow your scores to be released to the colleges, and they'll give you really nice offers. Let's just put it that way. So let's get into it, because you're going to be wondering, why is this person who I watch for true crime or I watch for book reviews giving away some rando artwork? Well, because it's another hobby of mine, and I thought maybe somebody'd be interested. Who knows? Let's get into it, shall we? All right. I have to find the pieces, because I'm just now looking through this particular portfolio, and some of these I'm not going to part with, like pictures of my my man. You know what I mean? Yeah, that one wouldn't fly well, would it? Oh, here's one. Here's a piece. Here's a photograph I took. This one actually has been shown. I have it. I tweaked it a little, and it is in our hallway too. Really big format. This is the Broken Body of Christ, and I submitted it to a gallery when they were doing a Baroque, and I think I put a pun on the title of this piece at the time. Oh, hey, I wrote on the back of it. What do you know? The Baroque Body of Christ. Of course, I remembered it correctly. All right? So this is just a simple photograph. This one was not ever matted. So that's one piece. If you just want a piece of a piece of art that you can simply probably easily frame. Now this one I want to explain. This one people might be interested in just simply because of the nature of the true crime channel. Okay, so let me get into this, because some of these we have in my city where you'll have a competition or a showing or whatever, and they'll give you a topic. So my artwork for that month will be on that topic, which it really isn't naturally my interest, but sometimes, you know, you're challenged by it. So here, I'll explain this one. And this one I will give away because I have the original, and the original is literally one of my favorite pieces of art. I learned how to draw by a really great artist named Robert Rivers. He's the one that taught me how to line draw. And then I went from there. I like to use my fingers. I like to use charcoal, and I like to use graphite more than anything else. My heart love, I don't want to get all choked up. I love to paint in oils, but I suck at it. I am so bad at oils. I mean, it's like crying bad, you know? But anyway, why let that stop you? Why sucking at something? Don't let, you know what? Sometimes if you really suck at something, you would like it. Don't let it stop you. Like ceramics, I sucked at it, but I loved it, man. I loved it. Anyway, sorry, I'm going on. This piece might interest you. The reason I wrote it is because back in the day, I've told you this before if you watch this channel, I was a young child here, and Adam Walsh went missing, right? And it affected everybody, especially being the age we were, and how you had to kind of come to terms with the bad guy. And I was literally raised on horror films. My father would wake me up at age 5, age 4, age 6. Come get up. You know, that we had creature features and things like that. And he would wake me up also in the middle of the night to watch like Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, and the whole nine. And she was sexy as hell too, by the way. She's still sexy, isn't she? I think she's still alive. But long story short, I was raised on horror films, and I had to reconcile why I enjoyed Bela Lugosi so darn much, and I was so repelled by true crime, but interested in it. And I realized this, which I drew by hand, this is a picture of my original, by the way. My original is staying here. This is fantasy. This is something you can control, right? All right? You can put Dracula down. You can't put this down. This is the real Boogeyman. This is the real monster. All right? This is the real monster. It isn't this one under the bed. Okay, so I had these side by side. This, the actual real photo, the real art pieces of art. This is a photo of my piece. I'm not going to get rid of this. This is my favorite. I mean, I love this piece. I drew it by hand by looking at a picture of Bela Lugosi. I used graphite always, archival paper always, and I use a lot of charcoal in my fingers. And sometimes you'll see the fingerprint. And I put not the real Boogeyman. That was like a certain font that I downloaded that was popular, I guess, in 2013. I was drawing a lot in 2013. You'll see, I think this portfolio is from 2013. So, yeah, you could have a picture. You could have this picture if you wanted. This one is, of course, called Dracula. It's graphite, charcoal, and watercolor, the lettering. Same with this one. I'll part with Ted, the Beast of Ted. Ted Bundy, I'm sure, I'm not even going to tell you who he is. You know who he is. He's a serial killer. He terrorized our state and many other states, but he came here because I think he knew that we would execute him, which we did. And one reason I picked this photo to draw is because it shows his teeth. And when he bit one of the victims at the Chi Omega house, that imprint that he left in her skin, they were able to match it to his jacked up teeth. So I picked that one. He is the real Boogeyman, not Bela Lugosi. So if you want Ted, say I want Ted. I didn't put the dimensions on that one, but it should be the same. Let me tell you what the dimensions are, just in case you have a frame. So this is 11 by 14. All right, so it's graphite. It's looks like charcoal, graphite, watercolor, some fingerprints, and it's been fixed. All my my artwork, I put the proper fixative on it so that, you know, it won't rub off, or it shouldn't. So, oh, I went through a weird phase of kaleidoscopes. Don't even ask. You know what? Don't even ask. Why ask why? Just do it. I started getting into kaleidoscopes, and then I found some weird little, it wasn't an app, it was like a little function that made funky kaleidoscopes, and then I started doing them in watercolor. Don't even ask. It makes no sense. If you want it, I don't even think I titled this one. I don't think, if this one was shown, I think it was. I think it was shown. I don't remember what the name of that one is. Okay, here's some photography, because I love photography, by the way. This one's called Baroque and Berserk, and the reason I called it that was because it was submitted for a show that was, the topic was Baroque. So Baroque and Berserk, and if you wonder what you're looking at, this is, I believe it's from the Mozart statue in Vienna, in the park there. All right? Again, this is, and they're called putti, the little frolicking angels, like that, they're called putti. All right, this one is called Dawn Baroquen, and it's just a putti looking off into the distance. You know, looking back at some of this, like I feel like I could have done better. You always are very critical of your own art. Always. Oh, we had one where, oh, this one got interest. People didn't buy it, but this one got interest. This is a picture of the artwork that is now destroyed because, hello, it's drugs. Drugs in the sense of pharmaceuticals and stuff. And this was Art and the Science of Healing. So I call this one Prescription, RX. It's 11 by 14. It's pills. I made a 3D whole entire thing out of pills. So it was mixed media, and I took a picture of it. Yeah, so pills. I went through a point where I was really into kaleidoscopes, and I don't know if it was something to do with the universe, macrocosm and microcosm, and looking at things small and big. Don't even ask. So I also did more on pills. Okay, and all of these. This was called Hope for Healing. We had an exhibit talking a lot about, you know, drugs and pharmaceuticals and what can make you better. And I did a bunch of kaleidoscope pieces on that. So again, this is just photography, these ones. This is like 5 by 6 1/4 photography. Nothing special there. All right. This one was weird. I don't remember what prompted me to do this one because, and I also have a photograph of it as well. So if you want it, you can have the original. It's weird. This weird little thing. It's ugly. And I think the reason I did this one was the concept. I saw a movie, it's called Wilde, about Oscar Wilde. And it's, you know, talking about how you present yourself a certain way, but then inside you're a different way. And I started, and the quote was, "It's about the masks we wear as faces and the faces we wear as masks." And, you know, I'm thinking about like these serial killers and all these things. And I added all these different quotes about the way people perceive themselves or the way people put themselves out to others. And so this is a really grotesquerie. Yeah, it's grotesque. I've drawn this evil, almost like alien, disgusting Nosferatu looking female character. It's not me. I don't feel that way inside. But with this real stylized face that you would maybe use at a ball. See, this is me trying to be doing fantasy. I suck at it. And then I have quotes by like Horror is Removal of the Masks by Robert Bloch. And like say a quote by Nathaniel Hawthorne. "No man for any considerable period can wear one face to himself and another to the multitude without finally getting bewildered as to which may be the true." Okay, so it's just like a kind of like an exploration on, I guess, evil masquerading as good. And so I also have a picture of it here called The Masquerade. It's mixed media, actually. All right, let's see. I got all kinds of stuff in here. I got like, this is not stuff you guys are gonna want, but like pictures. When you go to these fancy European palaces and places like that, look up. Sometimes in life you just don't look up. There is as much up on the ceiling as you could imagine. There's some of my favorites that I don't think are in here. I mean, there's just some I'm going to pass by that are just pictures. Here's one. You might like it. You know what? Different people have different tastes. And I found also when I was trying to sell some of the artwork that a lot of folks buy, and no shade if you're like this, a lot of folks buy artwork that looks good with their furniture and what's going to look good in their room. They have, like, they don't care for the meaning behind it per se. They're not looking at it as like a psychological study. They're looking at it just that as something aesthetically that matches their comforter. So yeah, my art's really not like that, but you know, I don't judge, you know what I mean? I also want to say all the stuff here on the walls is all my art. That's my bottle cap art. That's going to be a little bit harder to ship, but if anyone really loves the bottle caps, I went nuts. They're resin. Should I take one down and show you guys? Let me take one down and show you guys. Okay, now I'm not going to say that this is archival, right? Because this is when I was going through a period in 2018 where I was doing like found art kind of concept reusing, upcycling or whatever you want to call it. And what I would do is I would take a canvas and I would prime it. And I hope this shows well. And then what I would do is I was getting these tops from my cousin was working at a bar, and so I pressed upon her. I said, I'll do your wedding photos if you give me your bottle caps, save your bottle caps. And so she did. So I had hundreds. And then I got this PBO resin. It's a French resin, and they have all different kinds that they mix, and when they sit, they react, and you get a chemical kind of reaction, and you get different kinds of patterns. So if you look, and people were using this resin, just one thing to make one necklace, like a pendant. But I did all of them in the bottle caps. I don't know if you can see that. But I have literally probably maybe about 20 of these. I have the black ones in here. I have to look. I have the black ones in here. I have gold ones in the bathroom. I love the gold ones. I have some blue ones. So if you're interested in something like this and like a blue of this color, I do have those. Again, they'll be a little harder to ship though. The one thing about these is you can decide which way you want to hang them. The backs aren't fancy. I did these for myself, so I didn't really pay much attention to the backs. But honestly, each one of these little bottle caps are a total work of art. If you really get to looking at them and tripping out on them, yeah, they're interesting. The bottle cap art, I have lots of ones in blue. They're in storage. I can pull them out. Okay, more putti photography from Vienna. Okay, you have a putti looking up into the sky. I liked the tree, you know, almost like he's pointing. I liked that. This one was another one from the Baroque showing, the Baroquen body of Christ. I believe it's Mary with Jesus. I have this one in the hallway blown up really big. It looks good. And again, this is just regular paper size, this one. All right, let's move along. I have some of these. One thing I have to tell you guys is I didn't go through this before I started filming. So you're seeing me looking at art I haven't looked at in freaking 6 years. People think that I'm best at drawing faces. I can draw faces. I took anatomy and also have a family member that's in law enforcement that also drew faces as his initial entry into law enforcement. Now he's chief of police, but I don't think he doesn't do these anymore, but I do them too. It must be a family trait. I do not trace. I draw looking at a picture, okay? Stevie Nicks. I love music, guys. Love it. Okay, Stevie Nicks. This was drawn in 2013. This is graphite. This is charcoal, and it's fixed. It's fixed and fixative. It's archival paper, so it shouldn't ever have anything go wrong with it. And I think this is bevel cutted as well for the frame. Some of them, if they're like this, you will get the matting, so it'll cost more to send it. Again, this one was shown. Stevie Nicks was shown in 2013. Oh, if you like Ab Fab, Patsy Stone. Patsy Stone. God, I don't want to get I honestly don't want to get rid of Patsy Stone. I love her. She was also exhibited, I think, Vivian Lee, Patsy Stone. It was like women that you admire type thing. That was like the topic. So I did Patsy Stone because I always just think she's hilarious and Ab Fab. I did Stevie Nicks. I did Vivian Lee as Scarlett, you know. I realize now, like reading books as an adult on this channel, I think that Scarlett was a narcissist. That's just my opinion, but I mean, I don't know. I also went through a period where my neighbor, who's an artist, got me hooked on doing pastels on sandpaper. Yeah, you heard that right. So I guess we're not talking archival on this one. 3M sandpaper. Yeah, seriously, right? It's just a gourd. But this is pastel, done by me. I know. God, what a joke. Anyway, if you say, I want the orange gourd, the orange gourd is yours. That's so funny. I forget you forget you do it. But yeah, no, I just bang that out. Another thing is when my drawings, they take me about 3 to 4 hours to do the Vivian, the Patsy, it doesn't take me long. I don't know. You know what? Just because you're good at something doesn't mean that's what you're going to do for your life. And just because you suck at something doesn't mean that you're not going to do it over and over and over because you enjoy it. I took another shot at that gourd in 2009. Again, on sandpaper with pastel. If you like that, you can have it. Again, this isn't like that's the best thing I've ever seen in my life or anything. Oh, guys. You know what? This isn't a good example, but there are some shows that aren't PC that I always really loved, and I loved the series Deadwood, okay? Take the foul language out. I loved that show. And so I drew Deadwood, and it's some of my most beloved pieces are from Deadwood, and most of them I'm giving away because you develop bonds with the people that love the darn show as much as you love the darn show, and then you end up giving it away because I did one of Doc Cochran that was like, the person loved it so much I was like, just take it. I want it to go to someone that's just gonna love it. And if you know Deadwood, and this is literally 7-minute sketch maybe done with charcoal, okay, a piece of charcoal. Dan's mission, okay, this is a photograph, this is a scan of the original piece, which I've given away because somebody said, I want you to draw a picture when Dan is assigned to go get the little kid and he's almost crying, and this is a tough guy. And so I was like, yep, I'll draw it for you. Let's see. Oh my gosh, there's just so much stuff in here. I guess I should throw my jewelry in here too. That might be more of a hit because it actually has some sterling silver and stuff. There's a lot of stuff in here. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to edit this down. Okay. Oh my gosh. You know, sometimes you've got some problematic things in your history. I am not a perfect person at all. I also find here now, opening this time capsule, that, you know, there's some problematic folks in here that I drew, because one reason I drew celebrities is because when I drew people in real life, some of the techniques I use sometimes, like with, like, say, example, the planar investigation, which I did in like 15 minutes, which is a really crappy example, you know, makes people look like they have wrinkles or something, and then some people would be hurt or offended. So I tended to draw either fictional characters or actors and actresses because they didn't have anything bad to say, and they usually liked my work if I tagged them or whatever. They'd be like, oh, I love that. So yeah, you don't get complaints from folks you don't know. You get the complaints from your beloved ones that maybe, you know, you didn't portray them as accurately as they, you know, liked. So I did one fellow, Nosferatu again. I was raised on horror films. So this is Klaus Kinski. Now he's come that we know that he has been alleged to have done some essay. I wouldn't draw him today. But he plays one of the best Draculas, known as Nosferatu, and there's a scene where he turns to the camera. It's Werner Herzog is the one that filmed this film, and it's an amazing shot. And so I watched the movie and I drew it. It's pastel. I don't even remember. Let me see if I put on here. I did it in 2010. I think it's just pastels and maybe some graphite. All right, let's continue. Oh, wow. You know, I totally forget who I did. Fiona Apple. Again, I love music. If you want to say, God, how many hobbies does this chick have? Jesus. One of the things I did as a hobby when I was after I did my first degree, and while I was working, I had a newsletter, a musical newsletter. And so I was really into music since I was about 16 years old. And so I do love Fiona Apple. And so I drew her. Fiona Apple. Graphite and charcoal. 2013. This is a 2013 portfolio, guys. Oh, dear God, you guys. Someone's going to want her if they like her. I can criticize this because I think that we all find faults in our work. Princess Di. This is a big one, guys. I probably spent a day doing this one. I don't spend a lot of time doing it. I mean, once you know the facial anatomy and how to draw by looking at the thing and not at your hand, it doesn't take that long. I don't know. Maybe I spent two days off and on just playing around with it. But Princess Di. This was in her later years. I'm not happy with her lips. I'm not happy with the application of the lips, but this is archival paper. It's graphite. I don't think there's any charcoal on it. It's just eraser. The eraser is also used as, a tool as much as the pencil. So the white space. Oh gosh, you guys. I don't know if I want to get rid of this one. Some of them, they Gary Oldman, 2013. This is a big piece, guys. Look at it. I didn't trace it. How could I have traced it? People always say, ooh, looks like you traced it. How? I guess my man prints large size at work, but we don't bring that stuff home. Gary Oldman. Yeah. If you like that, I want Gary. I'll get rid of it. Bob Dylan. Guys, another one. What is this with problematic people? This is, we're living in a culture right now that is going back into anything you ever did and canceling you. And I think a lot of it is completely valid in the sense of we need to be better people. But hey, I always loved Bob Dylan. I loved his words. I loved his music. And I drew him. Bob Dylan. If you want him, say, I want Bob Dylan. And one person will get something. But yeah, he's a big piece. So think if you're going to frame him, it's going to take a lot. And also, guess what? I should just tell you that if you buy a piece of art, usually the frame is gonna, unless it's a Picasso or something, the frame's gonna cost as much as the artwork if it's properly framed and matted and you don't do it yourself. This one I'm not going to get rid of. Jacqueline Bouvier Kennedy. Yeah. Okay, you know what? If you have different political persuasions, please don't hate on me. Okay? We can all find things to like. And I just thought she was an extremely handsome woman. Just handsome. Again, another one. Are we going to talk about all the problematic people? Some people have issues with her now too, which I never thought. Mother Teresa. I think I spent like 3 days on the good mother, Mother Teresa. Now, granted, again, I looked at a photograph, guys. I looked at a photograph and I drew this. And you'll see my fingers all over smudging it around for effect. I did a damn good job on Mother Teresa, I must say. Okay? Oh my God, you guys. Liz Taylor. You like Liz Taylor? You want say, I want Liz. I want Liz. Now, this is graphite, this is charcoal, and it's got her bluey purplish eyes. I didn't actually get the color right. She has beautiful eyes. Liz Taylor. Oh gosh, next up. Montgomery Clift. Okay, I like old black and white movies. Sue me. Sue me. If you don't know who this fella is, this fella was one of the most handsome men in Hollywood. Bar none. And he got in a car accident, and Liz Taylor, who you just saw, helped to save his life. Gorgeous man. Great actor. Had lots of problems. Gorgeous. Would I get rid of Monty? If someone really wants Monty, I'll get rid of Monty. Oh, here's another one. I think I was supposed to send this one off. I did. My bad. I've got Marianne still here. I think I was going to send it to her. I think I probably still should. I drew it from a picture. Graphite. Charcoal. Gosh, 2013. Wow. This must be the 2013. This one I can't get rid of. Okay, so for the next one, again, I'm not coming for your politics. Don't come for my politics. I'm a lefty libertarian, okay? Barack Obama. I love this picture. And I love it. I mean, honestly, I don't know if I could get rid of Barack. I, posted him on my Facebook, and, they give you that annually, like you posted this picture, and I always reshare this one. This is one I'm proud of. I'm not proud of most of my artwork. I'm not proud of most of anything I've done, I'm like one of those people. I always pick at it and say, oh, it could have been better, or find fault with my own stuff. Okay, do you like Kate Moss? I drew a picture of Kate Moss. I don't like this picture. I think I got her. I think she looks like a blow-up doll. It's big. It's big. Kate Moss. If you like Kate Moss, put I like Kate in the comments section. Like Kate Moss. All right? But again, we're only going to have one going out. And then we have more. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh my God, I don't want to cry. I'm sorry. You guys, I can't get rid of Chris. He was a great guy. He really, a great guy. I knew I drew him, but I have a hard time listening to his music since what happened. So, sorry. I think it's important for you to see the real me. So, yeah. Okay. The next one is another one I won't get rid of because I met him. And I spelled his name wrong because I drew this before I met him. The Pianist is one of my favorite movies. So sorry you can't say I want Adrien and get it. And again, I spelled his name wrong, but I met him and he was charming. I met him. We flew from Paris to, I believe it was New York. And I recognized him. I'd also saw Stevie Nicks in person. I was told by family, like, oh, leave her alone. I might have told you, like, leave her alone, don't say anything to her. And I'm like, I just want to tell her, I just love her music and walk away. And that's pretty much what I did with Adrien, and he was completely charming. And I did it on the DL so that it didn't cause a scene because he wasn't being recognized. Okay, there's some, wow, okay, that's a sketch on like a medieval thing. Oh my gosh, you guys, I don't mean to make this about me. I don't remember, like, oh my gosh, this is Julian Lennon. I love music, and he came out with a new album that I was really into. This is 2013, and so I drew him, Julian Lennon. God, what a great guy. I've sat here and gone through this and said, oh, that's a problematic individual. Well, you know what? Julian Lennon's not a problematic individual. Here's another one. I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm sorry, so please don't put I want Mick. But this, Mick, God, was he just the cutest little thing ever. Wasn't he just so cute with those lips? You know what? I think he's adorable. I know. I think he's just freaking adorable. And of course, I just now confessed to you that I had a Led Zeppelin newsletter called In Light. So of course you're going to have your obligatory picture of Robert Plant Robert is not going anywhere. Robert stays. Robert's got a forever home. Oh my God. Yeah, Robert. Yeah. Oh, that was 2012. Oh my God, you guys. Oh, this one. Do you know who this is? Are any of you old enough to know who this is? This is Andy Gibb. I drew this. I drew this in 2012. This is Andy Gibb. This guy was on my wall when I was a kid. I'm dating myself now. I'm 50 years old. This guy was on my wall. We used to have things called, you didn't have the internet, okay? So the way you'd see your teen stars and stuff other than hearing them on the physical radio, and you had to wait because you don't know what the DJ was going to play. But you would go to the grocery store with your mom or your dad, and they had these magazines, all right? They had scary magazines, which I absolutely adored, and then they had things called Tiger Beat and Teen Beat, and then they put your heart throbs, and they would tell you, who was hot, Danny Partridge or whatever, and then they'd have the stars like David Cassidy and all this stuff, and I loved Andy Gibb, like, oh my God, I loved Andy Gibb. I know. So in homage, as I got older, I re-explored the Bee Gees and I realized, oh, I forgot about Andy. And so I drew Andy. This one, of course, is going nowhere. It's Jimmy Page, but I drew him as the Shroud of Turin. I know I'm a nutbag. Jimmy Page meets the Shroud of Turin. That was what I wanted to do, and that's what I did. Okay? Again, you might say problematic. We can discuss. We can discuss. Here's one that's not problematic. Je Buckley. I will get rid of Je Buckley. This is the one artist, I've seen a lot of music. My man was a musician for a while. So I've met people, seen him, didn't ever get to see Je Buckley. It's one of the biggest regrets of my life. So, Je Buckley, 2012. Oh gosh, I'm like getting all the feels. Lord have mercy. What is going on? I'm just trying to do a damn giveaway. What is going on? All right, here we go. George Harrison. My guys. If you're depressed, this guy's music help you snap out of it. This guy. The Beatle, all right? I always thought, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, As I got older, this guy knew something. I'm telling you. There's something to be learned from his music. And there's something to be learned from this guy, guys. This guy's going to live forever. He going to live forever and ever and ever. Keith Richards. I drew this one in 2013. I think it took a little more time with old Keith. I do like me some Keith. I just like his swagger, I swear to God. I sometimes I like a bad boy, and I like his swagger, and my friends always laughed and said I should have a key hanging out of like his dreadlocks or whatever. Yeah. My friends are just a hoot and a holler, let me tell you. Continuing on, Leon Russell, if you like Leon Russell. And you might be wondering, boy, this is an odd little assortment of musicians that you've drawn. Again, they're not family members, so they're not going to say you got my hair wrong. Am I that ugly type thing. I went through a period where I was extremely depressed, and it's not the only time. Extremely depressed. And George Harrison's music, along with therapy and medication, helped me to at least function. And there's a song that George wrote called Beware of Darkness. And that's also why I drew this picture. Because if you know anything about that concert that he put on and the song, then you'll understand that picture. All right. Another Bob Dylan. This was not well drawn. I did not take the time necessary. I'm not great with hair. Sometimes I get real. I'd rather get the face right and let the hair just have its own thing, to do its own thing. This is not really that well done, but if you like it, I want Bob Dylan with his hand by his face. Oh, another Jimmy. Jimmy stays. Sorry. Jimmy's got a permanent home. Jimmy, Robert, Chris. They've got perma homes here at my house. But yeah, Jimmy Page. You know, it is what it is. It was funny because I always liked his hair. Right? Oh God, I want to laugh. And so, having so much anxiety in my life, I went like white or gray or whatever you want to call it really early, like probably right after my first degree. So maybe that was like I went to college right out of high school. And I started getting my hair immediately with the stress because I've always been just have anxiety at the wazoo. I started getting white hairs, and so I always would say I would always request Jimmy Page black. That was the color that I went. As I got older, I realized it didn't flatter me to have my hair that dark. And this is more my natural hair color. It's not natural, but this is more my natural hair color as a child. You know how it grew in. Now, if you want to talk about celebrities, again, they're not going to complain because they're dead. But I always loved Edie Sedgwick, a tragic figure, a seemingly very sweet woman. I have her next to Bob, so I must have had something going on in my mind. Maybe I was reading something about The Factory with Andy Warhol, but Edie, 2013, yeah. God, one time I went up to the Gorey Museum. That's that artist, Edward Gorey. I think it was in Cape Cod, or we went up to Massachusetts, and it was up there when we went on a trip to Cape Cod. We went to his house, and it's the Gorey Museum is amazing. It's just his house, but it's got all his stuff in it. And I met a girl there that looked just like Edie, and I said to her, "Are you a Sedgwick?" And she looked at me. She's like, "No," and I said, "You look just like Edie Sedgwick." And I go, "And that is a compliment. You are gorgeous." Oh my gosh, another problematic one. This is Klaus Kinski. I was going through a phase where I was learning German, and Klaus can give you some real strong German vibes. He likes to, I call them chimp outs, like, how would you say it? Like, have fits, like whenever people like rage off and whatever. And if you want to listen to that kind of German and to try to understand it, just different ways of understanding a language when you're learning it. So I was listening to Klaus wig out on Werner Herzog in My Best Fiend. Not My Best Friend, My Best Fiend. And so I was fascinated with Klaus and his freakouts and how anyone could work with him. And so I drew him smoking a cigarette. Klaus Kinski. Yeah. I never drew Werner Herzog, but I really love his work. If you had to say, like, who's a filmmaker that's like, you just adore his films and you adore his works, it's Werner Herzog. This is a crappy picture of this one. I did not do a good job capturing Johnny Depp's likeness. So Johnny can find a forever home elsewhere. I think I might have even used some charcoal, some pastel, maybe some graphite on this one. But yeah, as you can see, these are large, so keep that in mind. Oh, another one, Tori Amos. I've seen her in concert a few times. I adore her. I adore her. I wish I was more like her. Yeah, how sometimes you see her personality and you say, I wish I could be more like that person, like thoughtful and thinks before they speak. Yeah, I don't like the way I talk too much, believe it or not. So I wish I was more like her. And so I colored her hair in. If you like Tori, I want Tori. Oh, Lord, guys. Oh, gosh. This one, I like a bad girl sometimes. I like characters. I guess that's the best way to put it, is like I've always liked a good character. It's in my first novels. I like a character. If you do something crazy and you're entertaining, I'll write about you. Courtney Love is a real character, and so I drew her. I don't really like the way I did her mouth, but she changes so much. She changes her physical appearance. She gets a lot of plastic surgery and little nips, tucks, and changes, and then she'll change things back. So at that point, she looked like this. She doesn't anymore. But, I like a character. Oh, we got some attempts at watercolor. Sometimes you're just not good at something. This was literally my first attempt at watercolor of a koi. And if you look at the watercolor books, this will be like, oh yeah, like how to draw a koi, like see spot run with koi. Yeah, right, that's what it is. Watercolor. It doesn't do anything for me, but if you like it, if it fit, it may be something, you know, it looks good in your room. These were done in 2010, so watercolor. I'm not going to put my oils on here. They'll be too expensive to ship. Here's a watercolor. I think this was a copy of, I don't remember if it was Manet or Monet. Probably Claude Monet. He's one of my favorite artists, so it's probably him. After you see so many pieces of art, sometimes they all just blend together. I should remember. I'm sorry. Oh, Deadwood. This is just a Deadwood. Another picture of Doc Cochran. That's more niche, I think. If you're really into Deadwood, you might be like, that's me. This is, again, a Deadwood pastel. This is Trixie looking out a window. Again, not going to mean a thing to you if you're not into Deadwood. It's just a woman looking out a window, but she's in Deadwood. You know, she's in a town that's in upheaval, and she's looking out to see what kind of business is going down in the thoroughfare. Here, again, where I did the pastel drawings on the sandpaper, 400 grit sandpaper. Just an apple, you know, not that fascinating. All right, here's the deal, guys. I know I've talked a lot, and I really do apologize for that. If you like anything that you've seen, pick one thing and put in the comments section. Hi, Theolyn. I want Johnny Depp, period. Then I'll pick one person from all of it. I'll pick it from random, and I'll say, hey, look at the comments section, guys. You gotta look. Look back. You know, we'll give it a couple days. Check in there. I'll respond to you saying, you won. Here's my email. Email me back your address and you'll get it. All right? So it's that simple. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to even like my videos. Again, I want to say how much I really, really, truly appreciate you watching this channel. And I don't mean to put off anyone who's interested in doing YouTube as a job, but it's more of a hobby. Unless you're willing to put yourself out there, put your family out there, be super controversial, do grotesque things, or you're really young and attractive, which I'm not, so it's hard. Then it's hard, all right? And it's going to be more of a hobby. The money is not what you think it is. So if you see ads on my videos, some people might feel bitter thinking, oh, you know, she's making all this money. Honey, I haven't ever seen it. I haven't seen a check in 2 years, okay? I don't expect to. I expect probably it will take the rest of the year for me to get 100. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you the plain old facts of it, you know? And I am grateful for the time we spent together. If I decide that I'm done with YouTube, you know, that it's run its course, because I've had hobbies before, and you know, you wear yourself out. I used to make jewelry, you know, sterling silver jewelry and beads, and my stepmother, bless her heart, she rests in peace, she taught me how to do that. I did that for quite a while, and sometimes you're done, you know, there's no more jewelry you want to make. If it comes to that with YouTube, guys, I'll let you know. But there has been a hiatus in this last 4 weeks. It's because of the pandemic. It's because a family member is having some issues, and I have to drive 11 hours there and 11 hours back, and by that time you're staying a week or two to try to help out, and that's what's going on. And then my man was exposed to COVID, so he had to go into quarantine. So yeah, I mean, that's why I have been offline. I've still been working though, so I'm plugging away at our cases, and I hope to do the best I can, and when I'm not, let me know kindly, you know, and let's just make this the best channel and the best comment section. And I hope that you guys enjoy what I do. I hope that you like the giveaway. Maybe next time I'll put the jewelry in. You know, guys, if the guys watch this too, they're not going to be interested necessarily in jewelry. Most of them, I mean, some of them might, but you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to find something that maybe everybody would be interested in. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here with me. Maybe we can make another milestone someday. That's not my goal. My goal is to be interested in the cases, to and to communicate with you guys and to share the experience. My goal isn't to make oodles of money. Now, if I made money, my intent would probably be to make sure my family is also, you know, covered. And other than that is just to give back to charities that I'm interested in and things like that. So if you ever let an ad run, know that it's gonna go to a good place. All right? So thank you so much and have an excellent day. Bye.